I hate returns. That's what everybody says. But I hate returns like this especially. This is a return from hell. Different things going on here, and I'm going to walk you through the whole story. And you're going to make some conclusion up front like maybe I did. And then I'll tell you how it comes out. It's a Saturday morning. Before that, a couple weeks before, I sold about $400 of postcards, 7 cards, to one individual. Now, if you watch my store, I don't sell $400 worth of cards to one person most of the time. So right there, there's a red flag. What's this guy doing? This person went in and bought 8 or 7 of my highest priced cards I've had, and they've been in there 6 to a year or whatever, because they're higher priced. They don't sell as fast. That's a red flag right there to me. It's like, okay, let's watch this a little closely. Well, he bought, I'm going to show you what each one of these cards are. But he bought the cards, but he paid for them individually. And sometimes I'm sitting there, why did he do this? Because if it was a normal $100 order or $80 order, I would just combine it all in one box and send it to him. But I'm sitting there, okay, he paid, I'll ship, but this is not normal. So all the things I say about calling eBay, watching tracking and feedback and stuff, this is one of those one-off situations where you need to bird dog this. Because there is some money on the table. And Sal knows about it too. He's over here honking, squawking away. He wasn't happy with it because we almost had to go down and ration his seed. This is just part of reselling. You're going to have situations like this, and this is why I'm doing the video. I don't do a lot of reaction videos about stuff goes on, but I thought there might be a lesson here. I learned a lot from it. Maybe someone else can. To let you know that other people have the same type of problems. So I sell those cards. I ship them out. And I showed in the videos how I ship them. I put them in a box. I put them in a rigid mailer. I use a little bubble wrap thing so it doesn't float around. And I sent 7 boxes like this with 1 card each in it. And he paid for the shipping, so he paid $5, $6 to ship a 4-ounce box. So I figured that'll protect me a little bit. I'll have a real tracking number on each card, and I'll have some protection there if this is something going on here. Remember, this is a one-off thing for me. I don't usually do this stuff with the regular cards. This is just something a little different that you got to treat differently. Well, that Saturday morning, I get this message. Hello. Sends me a message in eBay. I had to open a return on my postcards that I purchased from you recently. This is 10 days after he got them. This wasn't a couple days after he got these. This was 10 days. Basically, the post office destroyed all the postcards during transit. And at first I thought you sent them that way. Right there I was like, why would you think I would send you a damaged box? So boom, another flag goes up. But after closer examination, I realized that the post office utterly destroyed them. Deeply sorry for having to message you on a Saturday with this terrible news. Would you like me to send back the package that the post office left for me? Yeah. I said I sent back a message. I apologize for all this. Yes, please send all the post office stuff. Thank you, Mark. That's all I said. Less is more. Right away in my mind, I'm saying, oh God, I got to put 7 post office claims in, USPS claims. That was my concern. I haven't done one of those years. I usually don't do them because I usually don't win. It's just a mess. Sometimes it's a pain. I haven't had a lot of those. I really don't want to do it. So that's what I was thinking. And then he comes back with another message, says, okay, no problem. You know, I sent him, I approved the return, and I sent him a label for each box. Is what I did. That's what eBay process was, is I sent him a label. I'm not worried about it. I'll send you a return label. But he come back and said, okay, no problem. Just a heads up. Thought. I only have enough material to mail you like 1 box full of contents. What should I do? All the other shipping return labels you generated. I don't want the customer to jump through hoops and stuff. I'm still not sure really what's going on here. 7 boxes, destroyed, and rigid mailer. How are you going to destroy a postcard in a rigid top-loaded? In a box, in a bag, in bubble wrap, baggie. 7 times. So I told him just, yeah, that's fine. Disregard the other labels. I'll deal with that later with eBay or whatever the fees. If it doesn't get used, it doesn't get used. I'll deal with that later. That's my problem. So I just said, yeah, just go ahead and send it, whatever. But in the case, another thing I noticed, when he opened the return cases, this is what he cut and pasted. Postcard showed up destroyed in a plastic bag with a post office notice on it telling me how they care. It's one of those plastic bags, a little sticker on there. 7 postcards destroyed in transit by UPS. So I was expecting to get back a box, the bag, all the stuff that I could use for the post office claim. Because again, all I can go through in my head is I got to do 7 post office claims. This is going to be interesting. How do I tie them together and stuff like that to get my money back? The possible sales. So that's about the only thing going through my mind. I wasn't worried about the money or the person or whatever, because so far, but I'm still confused on what's going on here. Some people will go after the person, the seller, and all that stuff. And they'll, get all uptight about it and everything. Me, it's just like it's a transaction. It's a reverse transaction to me. I'm not concerned about the money as much as I got to put 7 claims in the post office. So you got to be careful about that. But my thinking is different. I want to protect the business, the possible loss. What am I open to here? So I got $400 basically worth of postcards with shipping and stuff like that involved. You can't keep the money and the cards. So if he's got the card and he doesn't send them back, he's not getting the money. If I get the card back, he can get the money. Right? It's not, you can't keep both in my eyes. It's got to be a split thing. Then sure, I'll block them, but that's not that big of a deal. I know the address. I got a little label down here now with the address, street name, so if that pops up, I will double check and it's not this guy. Some people will do that, but usually they don't come back to the scene of the crime. But my job is to protect the business and reduce the possible loss. Remember, I only got maybe 7 cards in the boxes, $5 in this whole thing. Material assets. Possible sales loss, about $370. But that's money I didn't have yesterday or the day before I sold these. So my really asset, the money really out, is about $5. But how can 7 different boxes get damaged? Kept going through my head. And I talked to my wife and I talked to one of my friends. He knows how I ship these things and he sells, and it's like, yeah, this isn't right. All I could do was wait for the 7 cards to come back to me. Now I didn't refund his money back yet because I want to see what's going on. But let me show you the cards that he bought. This first one was a state hospital, $37.75. Another one's a baseball team. Was it $27.65? House of David team, $57. Insane Asylum Hospital, $25. The highest one was a $95 card. Well, Davis Junction, a real photo postcard. Then I had 2 studio postcards. One was $87.50, one for $37.65. Real photo postcards. So total is about $370 in the card cost, what he paid, and then the shipping. Let's round it to $400. But remember, I only got $5 of these. But those are all the cards. I don't have a lot of these cards. These cards are from 6 to 12 months. They've been in my boxes, and they're in all different areas, different times I listed them. But then I started getting, while we were waiting to get the cards back, right? Well, we started getting things in. They were delivered in my P.O. box. I got the first one back, a studio card, $87.50. It was delivered to him on the 21st. I got it back on the 4th. I didn't receive this one. I only got 6 cards back. I didn't receive the other studio prop one, and this is $37.65. So remember that number, $37.65. So this one I'm still waiting for. I got 6 boxes back. I shipped them 7. I expected to have 7 back. Next one came back on the 4th. This was the highest price one, so I got that card back. This is the best one, the $95 card. I got this one back. The House of David is another good card, $56 one. I got the baseball team in Monsoon, Massachusetts. Got that one back. Then I got the state hospital for the insane. I got that one back. So I got most of the really good cards back. And I got the other Indiana hospital back on the 4th. So I got 6 of the 7 cards back. So I was saying, okay, maybe the other one will be here in the next couple of days. It just got mixed up in the mail. But I'm gonna show you the clip. I'm gonna open these with you exactly how they came back to me. And remember, this guy said they were totally destroyed, all 7 boxes. All 7 cards are destroyed. And a top loader, it all works. So let's see what that is. So here's a little clip of that. So I received 6 boxes, and I'm going to go through each one here. And if you notice, there's nothing wrong with the boxes. Even though the person said the post office destroyed all 7 boxes, everything, the postcards and everything were destroyed. Flipping these boxes over, there's no damage at all to any of the boxes, the corners, nothing on there, and that's all 6 right there. Now I'm going to go ahead and open them each one up real quick, and let's see what's inside. I sold, that's number 1 right there. He did tape it, and he taped the label on it. And I only got 6 of the 7 cards back, so maybe the other one was coming. But as of me recording this, I still haven't received it. And they did give a thing, but look, there's the postcard. They didn't put it back in the right little bubble envelope, but there's nothing wrong with it. Everything's fine with this one. There's nothing else in there. 1 card, no Ziploc bag, and it wasn't, just threw it back in there. The person had these things for 10 days before they opened the case. So number 1, no problem. I'll refund them. I refund them full for that. Number 2 box, same thing. Taped it well. Put it around, nice secure. There was no issues with that. There was no damage to the box. And open it up. There's the postcard, but no bubble wrap mailer. So they did open and look at the card, but there's nothing wrong with the card. There's nothing wrong with the box and number 2. So I refunded them for that card. You can't keep the card and the money. So I got the card, I refund the money. And here's number 3. Same type of deal. Taped it well, nothing wrong with the box. Flip it over and open it back up. And these boxes are pretty secure with stuff. This one he put a little bit more tape on there than I usually just put 1 strip along the bottom, but that's fine. But if there was damage to these boxes, you would see it. Then there's the card. There's nothing wrong with the card. That's like the $95 one, the train station, and they just do it back. They just do it back in the box. It made it. Everything was fine. So that's another refund that I did. I got the card. I refunded them for this. And then we go to the next one. And this is number 4. Open up this box. Everything's fine. And remember, he said that all 7 were destroyed. And that's what was amazing to me is how can they do it? These were 7 individual shipped boxes. Same thing. Not put back the way I sent it. But that's okay. It's in a top loader. Everything's fine. That's one of those insane asylum. No damage to the card, nothing else in there. So that one's out. I got the card. I refunded the money. No big deal. Then we get into number 5. We got 1 left after this. We open this box. Same thing. He took the time to tape it. And if I can figure out how to open it. And it just sliding right along the side there. And I might have it this time. Yes, I did. And then, so these boxes are very secure. That's why I use them. And that's why I did it this way. He bought them separately. And there's the card. That's one of those studios. The other studio is the one I have not got back. And that I appealed with that. So there's nothing wrong with the box. That card gets a full refund. I got the card. They get the money. You can't keep both. You shouldn't keep both. And this is the last one I received at the post office. This went to my P.O. box in the parcel locker at the post office is where I picked these up. When I opened the parcel locker, it was like, these were there. This card, still in top loader. Everything's fine. No problem with it. Just missing the little baggie it was in, but no big deal. I got the card. I'll refund the money. So that's all 6. I didn't see any damage. He had these things for 10 days, and then he sent them back. Remember, it said April 4th I got them back. So what time is it? That's beginning of the month and the end of March. What comes out during that time? Credit card bills. Bills. Keep that in mind. So there's nothing wrong. This is a false damage claim. There's nothing wrong here. I was excited. I don't have to put 7 post office claims in. I was feeling a lot better that I didn't have to deal with the post office. But since this was a false damage claim, I paid for those 6 boxes to come back. Can I reduce I'm protecting the business here. I could care less who the guy is, whatever he does. I need to protect and reduce the loss, the possible loss. So I got 6 cards back, and I haven't refunded them yet. But I was thinking, this is a false damage claim. Is there any options open to me? I don't do this that often, so I've said in other videos, I don't call eBay. I don't watch feedback stuff. This is one of those one-off situations where you gotta keep an eye on things and use things that you normally don't do. So I called eBay. Finally figured out how to do it, I guess. I can't remember. I couldn't tell you how I did it. I contacted eBay to see if I can hold the shipping back, as this is a false damage claim. I figured if I can get my shipping back, then I'm reducing the loss. eBay, the guy I got on the phone was very knowledgeable. This was a short conversation. He knew exactly what I was talking about. We didn't have to go through all the details. I just said, can I hold back the shipping or anything? He says, his response was, yes, if it shows on the screen, those are the options available to you. And if the buyer, and if you can not do refund the original shipping cost, and if the buyer calls eBay about it, and eBay will probably refund them the shipping. That's usually how it goes. I said, cool. So I sent those 6 returns back to him, sent him the money, minus the shipping. I figure he's going to go off the deep end and call eBay, and they're going to give him the shipping, and we'll be a wash. Guess what? It worked. I got my money back. I kept the money from the original shipping, and he called eBay, and he was not happy at all, I guess, the way some of the case notes said, and eBay ended up refunding his money. So we're a wash now. I got 6 cards back. The shipping, the return shipping, I pretty well kept, so I'm pretty well a wash there. I'm just waiting on 1 card. And I figure, okay, the other card will come in, we'll go through the same thing, I'll reduce it, he'll call, he'll get the money back, and we'll be done. This will be over with. No post office claims or whatever, right? Next morning I'm going through my eBay stuff, and I see a message. Remember, this 1 card was $37.65 that I was waiting on. It's just 1 card I'm waiting on to get, and I'll look at it and approve the return and do the whole thing. But I wake up to this one message. We reviewed this case and decided to issue the buyer a full refund. We received tracking information from the buyer that shows successful delivery. A refund of $39.73 was issued on April 5th to the buyer. The refund includes the purchase price plus the original shipping. The refund amount will be recovered from you by eBay. I was like, okay, whoever did this overnight. They're just cleaning out the queue. They're working overnight, and they're just cleaning out the queue. They haven't researched the whole what's going on here with all these 7 boxes, 7 cards. And there was an appeal button, a way to appeal. I said, okay, I'll appeal. So I wrote a little message, says, you know, I've been very accountable to this person, la-da-da-da-da. And they said that they got tracking information. I do not see that in the case, and I do not have the item. I need to see the tracking. There's no tracking in the case, as the person said. And all this stuff. And I'm awaiting your response, was the end. Very professional, to the point, just tell me why. I've already refunded. If I would have got the card back, you've seen I did it 6 times, I would have do it the 7th time. Well, guess what? I won the appeal. That afternoon, I get a message, a personal message, not just an eBay generated one. I got some of those too, but from a person thanking me for what I've done and stuff like that. And they reviewed the case and said, yes, you're absolutely correct. He shouldn't have been refunded, and they appealed the case and reversed it. The buyer went ballistic. He puts in a case, and this note I'm going to read here and show you, or read to you, was not put on the correct refund. He put it on one of the other ones, and he didn't pay $92 for this card. This was a $37 card. He said I paid $92 for this card, shipping it back by free returns provided by the seller. The seller confirmed that he got back all his stuff with no problems. No, I didn't. I said, I've refunded you on 6th. I'm waiting on the 7th. Send it back. I'll get you your money. I wake up this morning to see that I was refunded only $7 into my bank account. Yeah, it got reversed. This is a violation of eBay's money-back guarantee policy. And I did not agree to this with the seller at all. This is deliberate money laundering on this guy's part. And I want to report this guy for money laundering. What am I running? The SMPostcards cartel here? No, send the card back. I'll give you your money. I've already done it 6 times. We'll be whole. You'll move on. Now, if this person would have came to me in the beginning and said, hey, I'd like to return these. These are really not what I want. I overspent or whatever. Fine, no problem. Pay for the shipping back. I'll get your money back, or we'll come up with a deal. It's no problem. I have hassle-free returns. I'm probably one of the easiest ones to work with. I'm not worried about $400 in sales. Yeah, I'd like to keep it like everybody else, but I'd like to get the cards back so I can resell them. And you can't keep both the cards and the money. It's got to be a split. But if they want to go down this route, I'll play. But I got a billion-dollar company behind me. What's he got? He's saying I'm a money launderer. And that's probably why it's closed now. So in summary, up to this point, I've received 6 cards back. The 7th one never showed up. He got refunded for it. I got it back. I appealed the case and won. That's closed. He got the original. He got his shipping back. I got my shipping back. We're awash there. eBay gave that back to him at no cost to me. And that's what the guy said would happen. So that's why I did that. If there wasn't, I don't know if I would have done that. I would have just moved on. Because if it wasn't an option for me, it wasn't an option because I do free returns. The buyer never sent the last card back. I have the money. He does not. He has the card. I got the money. If he would have sent the card back, he would have got the money. Now, when you do partial refunds, like not sending the original shipping back, you can lose your final value fees in eBay, and I did. So I'm out about $25. But it's kind of a wash because I got $37 for the card he's got. So it's kind of up there. But the biggest thing out of the whole thing, I don't have to put 7 post office claims in to get money back. I'm ecstatic about that. So I felt I did a good job protecting the business from the possible loss. I'm not out the cards and the money. I'm just basically out $25 and not having to do 7 claims. And remember, a lot of people will get a big sale like this and the money is spent. And then when they come back with a refund in the first 30 days, they don't have that money anymore. So you want to be very careful of that. Some people live sale to sale. You got to get yourself to a point where you have some padding, because stuff like this will happen. I can't remember any games like this ever played with my stuff. I've never seen this before. To me, I've heard about it and stuff like that, but I've never had this happen in this magnitude of stuff. Even with the toys and all the stuff, I shipped, a lot of things and sold a lot of things. A return is a return. Hey, it's got the box was crushed or something, but I've never had anybody do something like this. It's just interesting. But from my experience, most returns will happen in the first 30 to 35 days. What reason? End of the month bills come in and people can see it on paper, that little bill that the wife sees. In the action figure things, the guys will go out and buy $300 worth of action figures during the month. It all adds up, and they didn't really see how to add it up, and at the end of the month, the wife sees and says, we can't afford $300 worth of action figures, send them back. Next thing you know, I get out-of-the-box things back and stuff like that. That's happened. Another time, I was at the flea market. I had about 10, 12 tables up, and I had a lot of vintage Star Wars stuff. I mean, this is stuff that's harder to find, and they were priced up. This guy went around, my deal out there was make a pile, make a deal. Everything's got a price. Make a pile, make a deal. So he made a nice little pile. It was about $150 worth of stuff. And he says, can you hold this for me? I got to go, I'll be right back. And I said, well, and he was talking about payment. And I said, well, I take credit cards, so I can do that on my phone if you want. He goes, oh, no. And I said, there's an ATM machine over here. He says, no, I don't think you understand. I'm going to my friend's house to borrow the $150 so my wife doesn't see. So if he would have paid a credit card or took an ATM, his wife would have seen that he paid $150 Star Wars stuff. He came back, he paid, I sold it. But that I think is what's happening here. He got the bill in at the end of the month and it was more, you know, stuff like that. The moral of the story is protect the business first. You can't keep both the cards and the money. He can't have the cards and the money. He shouldn't. I should. It's got to be split. And don't go after the person right away. Go after what's happening. Protect the business. Refunds are going to happen in reselling. So you just got to protect yourself and have a little stash of money. If someone buys a $60 item, be careful about that $60. Wait till it all comes down. Remember, they can put a charge back in 180 days and stuff. I have free returns as far, I don't know, 60 days, whatever. I have no problem doing returns. I don't get many at all. Now, if I started getting a lot more stuff like this, I'm going to be, yeah, I'll get more in depth and push back a lot more. But I really don't concern myself about refunds, especially with eBay standard envelope. This month, I got like 20 some dollars back and stuff because the cards were lost or damaged. They were lost. I never got them. And it said in the message, they refunded me. So that's easy. So just be careful with things out there. If you see something like this and it's out of the norm, yes, bird dog it a little bit more. But this isn't, I don't expect to do this probably again for a long time, hopefully. I hope there's some key points in here. If anybody's got any questions, just let me know and stuff like that. I think I handled it the best I knew with eBay's guidance a little bit, and I only end up losing like 25 bucks. And then I'll just relist these cards. So I'm really kind of whole again, and I don't have to put 7 post office claims in. That was my worst concern. I don't know why. I just don't like dealing with the post office claims. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps somebody. If you you see other people go through the same stuff that probably you went through. Hope not. But I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.